agree with those who say we don't need another election because really it doesn't make a difference to those people who are employed at low-paying jobs or working part-time. But I will say that this election there will be a lot of talk about corporate tax cut. And Canadian companies are saying that they need corporate tax cut because they are still paying more corporate taxes than they are in the United States. But in the United States, the unemployment rate is still about 9%, and more than 8 million Americans are underemployed, and million more simply gave up on looking. So it doesn't seem like corporate tax cut alone is able to produce the kind of jobs that people need. Ontario Liberals, not the federal Liberals, but the Ontario Liberals and the Conservative talk about how their economy is underway, and most talking head, most mainstream media talk about how there is, the economy is getting better. But according to a recent Statistic Canada analysis, it shows that more Canadians ever are working in part-time job, about 1 in 5. And a lot more Canadians are relying on food banks. So I don't see how politicians, liberals or conservative can talk about, how their job is done, and they just need to keep, steady on whatever they're doing, because whatever they're doing is not working. And I was reading an article from the professor Lisa Phillips. She talked about how the federal budget introduced by the Conservative government with all the tax credit programs for students and families are all really beneficial only to those who make enough money to pay taxes, and be completely pointless to people who do not make enough to pay taxes. According to the Canada Revenue Agency, 28% of men and 39% of women do not make enough to pay taxes because we are at the bottom of the earning scale. And it's not that we're lazy or we can't, do full-time work. It's perhaps because we just couldn't find full-time jobs. It seems that none of the parties really talk about the problems of being underemployed, which is also a worldwide problem. I read that, the unrest in Middle East is largely due to the issue of underemployment, is massive. So unless politicians start talking about the problem, which they won't because they don't really care about that problem. They only seem to care about taxpayers who can pay less taxes or seniors. So once again, I think this time I will not even bother to vote because it's a waste of time, and I don't even want to give any legitimacy to the whole process.